on my chair, left on his head. He ate a slice of Wonder Bread and went right back.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle.
Usually, people will call an action figure by the name it was given, even if the name is kinda dumb. I mean, Heman? Now, I love me some Masters of the Universe, but this dude was called Heman. And it's only through almost 40 years of cultural absorption that this name seems normal to everybody now.
Weird how that works.
Anyway, sometimes fans don't call an action figure by its proper name, but give it a nickname, and today we'll be looking at the 8 most ridiculous ones.
Doe number 8 is a special case. And don't worry, this is still a G.I. Joe show, so there will be Joes on this list.
Number 8. Yakface from Star Wars.
And why is it a special case? Because it didn't start out as a nickname, but as a real official one.
So meet Yakface. This figure was released in 1985 with all original body parts, and his name was Yakface.
Why?
Because he was a background character for like 1 second in Return of the Jedi, and that was enough to give him a toy. But since the character didn't have a name, Kenner had to come up with one, and he was named Yakface. By somebody who has never seen a yak in his whole life, I guess. Nobody really cared, but Star Wars has got a Star Wars, so this blink and you'll miss him character got a detailed backstory that I'm too lazy to get into, and his real name was revealed to be Salt Marae. The fans just kept calling him Yakface though, keeping the weird nickname toy company Kenner had first bestowed on him alive and well. Number 7. Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander.
No, Disney has nothing to do with G.I. Joe.
Original Hasbro properties are among the handful of things on this planet Disney doesn't own. Yet. So, how did the House of Mouse get associated with Cobra Commander?
I'm glad you asked, random person I just made up so it doesn't look like I'm talking to myself.
It has all to do with the Cobra logo on his chest. Most figures had a regular logo, but a very small number of them, some of the first ones ever made, had a different one. And that one looked like the Mickey Mouse logo.
If you squint, while being drunk, and on shrooms.
Nevertheless, the nickname stuck and has for almost 40 years. Number 6. Ape Leia from Star Wars. Leia was a beautiful and powerful warrior princess, except in the Power of the Force 2 line from 1995.
The whole line was weird, okay?
Some characters got buff, and I mean buff, like Luke Skywalker, who looks like he joined the World Wrestling Federation or had accidentally ended up in the Masters of the Universe toy line. And Leia didn't escape this trend, looking far more buff and rough, to the point where fans started to refer to the figure as Planet of the Apes Leia or Ape Leia.
Now there's a crossover waiting to happen.
Number 5. Drunk Dookie. The 1997 G.I.Joe Collector's Edition toy line had its problems, as I've discussed at length in a video, with quality control being a major one, and Duke was hit hard by this, with the set sculpt and the paint application thereof leaving something to be desired to say the least, invoking a sort of melted candle image, or that of a drunk guy. So Drunk Duke or Drunk Dookie was born. Go home, Duke, you're drunk. Number 4. Bumble Jumper from Transformers.
If you remember Cliff Jumper from the Transformers, what do you see in your head?
A small red car, right? And yes, that is mostly what Cliff Jumper was.
But there was an exception.
In 1984, Cliff Jumper was released in his usual red color scheme, but some toys had him in yellow, a color more associated with Bumblebee. This has baffled Transformers fans for years, and they took to calling the yellow version Bumble Jumper, a combination of Bumblebee, the classic yellow bot, and Cliff Jumper. It was later shortened to Bumper, which is only slightly less laughable, and under that name he eventually became a unique character, so sort of a reverse Yakface situation. Number 3. The Seekers.
Yes, we're sticking with Transformers.
And this time we're talking about the original 3 Decepticon fighter jets, Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. This group was dubbed the Seekers by fans, and later they'd include other jets that shared the same body type, like Ramjet for example, all called Seekers.
And nobody knows why.
It seems like in the days of the early internet, the mid-90s, the term just popped up amid Transformers fans. Now, this fandom is nothing if not thorough, so they dug up the first time the term was used in a 1984 JCPenney's catalog of all things. I'm guessing the term stuck with just one person who spread it among the fan community. And again, years later, the term became official.
Transformers fans seem to have a knack for getting stuff like that done.
Number 2. Wonder Bread He-Man. Yes, Wonder Bread He-Man. A fan invented term for a toy that doesn't exist.
Okay, this deserves some backstory.
For decades, Masters of the Universe fans believed a variant of the He-Man figure with brown hair and loincloth was released as a mail-in toy you could get from coupons on Wonder Bread.
There was never such a Wonder Bread deal.
So, was it all a hoax? Fake action figures cooked up to fleece collectors? Well, no. Toy historians, as nobody calls us, did eventually dig up the truth. There was a mail-in offer, but it was from Mattel themselves, as a buy two, get one free deal. And one of the figures offered was that He-Man variant. And though this is now nicknamed Savage He-Man, I don't think the Wonder Bread name will ever go away. And at number 1, it can only be Pimp Daddy Destro.
It always goes back to 1997, doesn't it?
The collector's edition toy line is the gift that just keeps on giving. Part of the line was the Cobra Command team, consisting of Cobra Commander, the Baroness and Destro, all in more or less traditional colors. There was, however, some sort of miscommunication at the factory, though how the hell this type of misunderstanding could happen, I have no idea. But the result was that a very few amount of the Destro figures got a completely different paint job on the collar and pants, a leopard print one. And somebody in the G.I.Joe community sensitively dubbed this version Pimp Daddy Destro.
By far the dumbest and most famous nickname on the list.
And unlike with Bumper or the Seekers, Hasbro wasn't about to acknowledge this nickname.
Except they sorta totally did.
There was a modern Destro figure that used the color scheme, though not the name. And in 2020, as part of the 6-inch classified line, they produced Prophet Director Destro in similar colors to the 1997 variant, and the name abbreviated to PDD, just like Pimp Daddy Destro. I'd call that ballsy, but this is a pretty deep inside joke, so nobody except people in the fan community would get it. And that was the list, from Pimps to Wonder Bread.
Did I leave any out? I'm sure I did. I didn't even mention the Coneheads, which were a subset of the Seekers. But you know what? The list was long enough as it was. Still, if you know of any more, let me know in the comment section below. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?
Not much hair left on his head. He ate a slice of Wonder Bread and went right back